I saw something in the newspaper, that is media, about Uber and how tomorrow, what is today, the 7th of May, 7 May, 2019, Tuesday. So 8 May, Wednesday, 2019, apparently Uber drivers are going to protest their company's policies and like low pay and whatnot. Good for them, man. Fuck Uber, man. Fuck that company, man. That's a piece of shit ass fucking company, dude. The Uber company is a piece of shit fucking company, dude. The Uber company is like one of the biggest piece of shit fucking companies in the whole fucking world, dude. It's one of the stupidest, most fucking piece of shit fucking companies in the whole fucking universe, dude. When I was working at 2 Air Force bases, I started to hear about the Uber company. I started to hear about this fucking dick-sucking piece of trash company. And I was like, yo, man, fuck that noise. Like, people were like, yeah, you ever heard of Uber? And I was like, yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like, I heard that it's a piece of shit company. And they're like, well, what do you mean? Like, what do you know about it? And I was like, well, I just know what I've read in the newspaper about a bunch of lawsuits and shit. And they're like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, really, dude. Like, they're already getting off to a bad start. So I read, man, like, from the very beginning, one of the things about, so, like, when I was in college, man, I paid for my cost of living outside what I was able to do with student loans by working in restaurants, right? By, like, working in a bunch of different fucking restaurants. Now, granted, those were piece of shit companies, too. You know, just typical fucking American, like, piece of shit fucking companies. I'm saying not the good companies in America that people are like, yeah, it was a pleasure working at this company. I give it 5 stars. I'm talking about companies that people give it, like, 1 star, like companies. I work for fucking shithole companies, dude. Just, you know, companies when you're in school, you're like, I really don't want to work for this fucking Jake-ass company. But it's like, I got to pay my, like, bills and shit. And, you know, I was one of those students, dude, where I bounced around from one program to another. So I was in college as it was for, like, too long. So having been in and out of college for, like, 10 years and shit, like, taking classes here and there, switching programs here and there, completing half a degree program here and there, I was like, yo, man, I've already fucking racked up over $100,000 in student loan debt. Man, I got to start making fucking money, you know what I'm saying, to, like, pay all this shit back. So that's how I got involved in government contracting. In the meantime, back in fucking school, I had shitty jobs, dude. Fucking piece of shit jobs working for piece of shit American fucking companies that are no good fucking companies. And then, so, like, you know, I worked in restaurants. I'd get paid tips waiting on tables. You know, just working for scandalous restaurant owners, fucking piece of trash companies, fucking stupid motherfucking business enterprises that you know about, names that you've heard about, and some names that you haven't. You know, some obscure companies, lesser known, mom and pop, like, own fucking restaurants that, you know, they're just worthless motherfucking piece of trash ass mom and pop companies. And then you got the more well-known ones that, like, everyone knows about. Man, I've had, like, over 100 jobs, dude. Like, on a piece of paper, on a list, I've had over 100 fucking jobs. So anyway, the point is, Uber's a piece of shit company, and I'm going to explain how I know that. I've never used the Uber fucking application. I've never wanted to have anything to fucking do with their low-life, dirtbag, scumbag fucking business enterprise. And I'm going to explain why. And how I know that Uber is a fucking low-life scumbag company. So when I was working after I'd worked at the Department of Justice. By the way, thank you for tuning into the show. If you're a fan of this show, if you support this show, we495 appreciate you, and that's real talk. So when I finally started to get actual fucking jobs that were good jobs, I sold software for a while, got into government contracting, became an actual certified, bona fide government defense contractor. Started to get paid top dollar. Started to get paid real fucking money. Made over $100,000 at one fucking particular company. Started to work in IT, man, and for high tech, in the real world outside, like college and whatnot, right? I look back, dude, and I was like, yeah, I remember when Uber was a brand new thing, when it was like, people were raving about it. You know how I knew it was fucked up from the very beginning? You know how I knew that Uber was one of the biggest fucking garbage companies in the whole fucking world, the whole universe, despite the fact that people were like, hailing it as like being revolutionary and a disruptive technology, yada, 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 blase fucking blah, 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 blah. Okay? No more suspense. Here's the deal. If you've ever worked in a restaurant, if you've ever worked for a company where you get paid tips on a daily basis, like maybe when you were in college, maybe when you needed to pay bills and shit, dude, I worked in so many fucking restaurants. Dude, I used to deliver food. And the sole purpose was to get paid cash on a daily basis so that I could pay bills. Because, dude, I was a full-time student, full-time college university student. And I actually got the idea from my former roommate who's a PhD in mathematics. He's actually the one who invited me into the field of mathematics when he was back before he had his master's degree. And he was at the University of Washington in Seattle, and he invited me into the mathematics program. He's the one who encouraged me to get involved in the mathematics community. He was a pizza delivery driver. And I was like, and I asked him once when we were younger, I was like, yo, man, why you delivering pizza? And he was like, because we were young, like I was in my early 20s. And he's like, oh, man, I get paid cash on a daily basis, and his dad's a lawyer. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, what's he delivering pizza for? So flash forward to when I'm in a math degree program because he invited me into it. I'm following his business model because I figured it out at some point. Man, you can go and work at some fuckboy like restaurant where you're not getting paid tips. You're getting paid like every 2 weeks or once a week. In the meantime, if you need dough, how you going to get dough? You going to fucking rob a bank? You going to sell some fucking drugs? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do? Well, shit. People laugh at pizza delivery dudes. They're like, oh, well, this motherfucker, he's delivering pizza. Hey, my boy did it and he got his PhD. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy did it. My friend from childhood. My former roommate who's married with wife and children, who's traveled the world as a fellow, you know what I'm saying, in academia, as a researcher, as a PhD in mathematics. Dude, I followed his business model in that he was in college, man, working on his master's degree, driving around, delivering pizza, getting paid tips on a daily basis. Dude, I've worked on government contracts, like when I first was first learning how government contracts work. Dude, I worked for some fucking stupid ass companies as a government contractor. This is before I figured it all out and how to do it myself and all this kind of shit. I was working for third parties before I was able to do my own and provide the U.S. intelligence community, my government, that is the U.S. government, a service directly. I used to go through third-party companies. I used to work on contracts for third-party intermediaries, that is third-party companies. And those fucking low-life scumbag companies, those fucking dirtbag scumbag companies, they were fucking liars, and that's how they were making money doing government contracts. They're just fraud. They're just fraud operations. I worked for this one dick-sucking piece of shit fucking company that touted itself as being this American patriotic organization. Anyway, that fucking rat fuck company, they said they were going to pay me every week when I worked at 2 Air Force bases. They ended up fucking paying me. They didn't even pay me at Christmas or before Christmas. Dude, they tried to fucking burn me out of money. And I had to tell them straight up, I was like, yo, if you don't fucking pay me this cash, dude, I'm going to drive up to fucking Philadelphia, dude, and you're going to fucking pay up. Well, they were involved in scams, dude, and they got busted. They did defraud the state of New York right here out of $700 million, almost $1 billion. And then several of their CEOs, like 5 of them, they all copped to the feds and admitted that they did so knowingly and willfully. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know at the time. I didn't fucking know at the time that they were involved in that type of shit because they're a big name. They're a big fucking name. They used to have signage all over the East Coast. Like, they're a big name. Like, I won't say their name in this particular podcast. Maybe in the future I will. But they're a big name, man. They're a big name like Northrop Grumman, like Booz Allen Hamilton, like BAE Systems, like Lockheed Martin, like Boeing Company, like Raytheon, like you name it. They're up there, okay? They're a big fucking name. And I didn't know, dude, when I started working for them, when I had my ID card from the Pentagon, my CAT card, you know what I'm saying, all my credentials, biometrics, man, and I'm working in different states, going to different facilities and shit. Man, I thought that they were a patriotic organization. They're not. And anyway, after I left that company on good terms, I mean, they're not a good company. They're a fucking peon company, dude. They're a piece of shit company, and I love to fucking pee on their fucking company. They're a bunch of liars and deceivers, dude, like the lot of them. I'm not saying the preceding ones that I mentioned. I've never worked for those companies, but I'm saying the lot of them, as in the companies that are in the category of peon, piece of shit companies that should be fucking peed on, and may they rest in outer hell, piss fucking darkness. Yeah, this company, dude, these fucking scam artists, man, I completed my contract, got paid, got cashed out. They lied about how long it was going to take for me to get fucking paid. I told them if they didn't fucking pay me, I'd get my money anyway. They finally cashed me out after Christmas. They decided to keep my money. Even though I'd worked 40 hours, still no pay. Now, keep in mind, this company told me up front I'd get paid once a week, okay? I didn't get paid after 80 hours. 80 fucking hours. They kept telling me that there was a mistake, there was an error, this, and that, blah, 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 blah. Just a bunch of fucking liars. That's all they are. They're involved in all kinds of dirt. That's why they rebranded. They rebranded themselves, too. I signed this big, long-ass contract with them, this big, long-ass non-disclosure agreement. They were a bunch of fucking fronters and a bunch of frauds from the gate anyway. They want to sign contracts with people, but they're involved in dirt from the beginning. When you go to sign up with them, man, if you get through the National Security Background Investigation, which I did, dude, they don't intend to do anything above board. They're already doing fucking crimes. They're already bilking the government out of all of the fucking money that the government was paying them. But then they had to rebrand themselves. I wonder why they had to rebrand themselves. I wonder fucking why. Maybe it's the $700 million that they built from the state of New York, combined with all of their other fucking dirt and scams that they were involved in. All the while touting themselves, propping themselves up, presenting themselves as some type of patriotic organization. When I signed the non-disclosure agreement, dude, it had the whole U.S. intelligence community listed. Every agency, Department of Defense, every agency you can think of. I'm not even going to name them, man. Just think about it for a minute, dude. Just think about the different agencies in our government. They had pretty much the whole intelligence community, pretty much all of them listed in that fucking contract. So they make you sign this lengthy contract, dude, that if you say anything about anything, you can be held accountable, this, and that. But they don't intend to make good on their end. And in fact, keep in mind, they're already doing dirt from the beginning. They're already fucking dirty, shady motherfuckers. They're already involved in fucking scams. They're already undermining in their own special little fucking piece of crap fucking way. Their own fucking deceitful way. They're already deceitful. They're already deceptive. They're already fucking doing crime. And they're involved in high crimes, dude. They're involved in stealing money from the U.S. government on the basis of contracts that are fucking fraud contracts. That's what they do. They do fraud operations. And I know because the U.S. Air Force, I got intel from the U.S. Air Force when I worked on Air Force bases, and I spoke with base security individuals who keyed me in and clued me in on the type of contract that was being operated. Now, I haven't gone into any type of specifics or particulars, and I've talked to attorneys about this. I've talked to top attorneys, dude, about this shit. I've talked to the Office of Personnel Management. I've talked to the Air Force Security Intelligence group, organization, office. I've talked to just about everybody, dude, who I need to cover my bases and to cover my bases, and let me tell you this, dude, that organization that I worked for, it's a fucking front, dude, and it fronted so hard, and I wasn't the one, and I wasn't fucking playing. Dude, I wasn't fucking playing that shit. So check this out, man. Fuck the Uber company, dude. When I first heard about the Uber company, I'm going to keep this under 20 minutes. Maybe. We're at 15 and 24. So, when the Uber company first materialized, people were telling me about it. They're like, yeah, I heard people are making a lot of money at the Uber company. And I was like, yeah, it sounds real sketchy and real fishy to me. I heard that their drivers don't get to keep tips. And people were like, yeah, but they're still making a lot of money from what I heard. And I was like, yeah, but they can't keep tips, dude. It's a service sector job. It's just like driving a fucking taxi cab. Dude, it's like working in a restaurant. If you work in a restaurant, so like say this, let's say you and I, okay, any of you in the audience, let's say any of you, just choose one of you, okay? Let's say you and I are friends from childhood. And we're best bros, like we're buds, like we're super road dogs, like we're aces, right? Like we're fucking real, true friends since childhood. And I hate to say this, but I'm just saying in a hypothetical scenario, let's say my family had money and your family didn't. And you're a good kid, man, and I'm claiming to like you, you know? And I'm like, yo, man, we grew up together, man. You're a good dude, right? Male, female, you're a good person, gender neutral, right? Okay? So, hey, listen, I see that we're both in college because we're both the same age. And, all my shit's paid for, like all expenses paid. And I know that you're from a family that doesn't have as much money, man, and you're struggling. So, hey, check it out. You can work in my family's restaurant. Man, we got riches, dude. We own part of Manhattan and shit. Dude, our family has got a fucking 5-star restaurant. You can fucking work in our restaurant, dude. And you'll make like $100,000 in tips in a fucking year. Because, dude, I know you're struggling to pay your bills. I know you're struggling, to like get by and make ends meet and shit like that. Dude, my family will take care of you. Like, I will give you a job in my family's 5-star Manhattan restaurant. What do you think about that? How does that sound to you? Is that a fucking good deal, bro? Sis? Friend from childhood? And you're like, dude, are you serious? Like, you guys will hire me? Like, your family, like, your mom and dad, like, your relatives will, like, hire me in the 5-star, like, Manhattan hotel restaurant? And, dude, I can fucking get $100,000 in tips in a year? And I'm like, dude, you'll make more than $100,000 in tips in a year. That's fucking easy schmeezy. And you're like, what? Word up. And I'm like, but here's the catch, though. I'm going to be taking every single one of those pennies of your tips and I'm going to be putting them into my pocket, thus, therefore, my bank account. And you're not going to see one of them, but I can give you a job. You can work in the restaurant. You're just not going to make any tips. All of the tips that you make are going to go in my pockets. Yeah. Fuck the Uber company, dude. That's how I knew, dude, that they were a piece of shit fucking company. What business model is such that you're driving for a fucking a piece of fuck shit ass company called Uber, and you don't get to keep any fucking tips? That was the first, 5 years-ish. I don't know how many fucking years it was, but it was some shit like that, dude. It was a number of years. For a year. Hey, you want to drive for the Uber company for a year, dude, and not make any fucking tips? It's all gonna go to Uber, What a fucking rat fuck business model. And that's how I knew. That was the foreshadowing, dude. That's how I knew from the very moment, dude, that I heard about their company. I was like, you know what, man? I'm hearing a lot of hype about this piece of shit fucking company, dude. Yeah, and by the way, I hope their IPO sinks their fucking company, dude. I hope their IPO is the death fucking nail in the coffin of that fuck boy company, dude. That dude who started that shit, man, Travis, man, that whole company business model, man, that whole thing, in my opinion, is a fucking scam, dude. All they're doing is using cheap labor, dude. They're exploiting people who are otherwise not the ones that are fucking rapists, pedophiles, and sex offenders. You know what I'm saying? But the ones who are good people, the ones that are actually law-abiding, all they're doing, dude, is exploiting good human beings, dude, and taking their fucking dough, dude, and not really giving them what they're worth, man. Fuck the Uber company. It's a piece of shit company.